Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I'm in a very good mood today because I'm going to be trying the new puzzle from Phistomefel, which is this one on the screen. But I have to warn you, I am feeling delicate today. I went out last night with some friends, went to a restaurant in London called High Timber, which was very nice, but unfortunately I did overindulge in the wine. I'm feeling it today. I actually don't drink. I think I tell you guys when I've had a drink the night before or on the day, and that's not very often for me. But really, the hangovers are getting worse and worse as I get older. But yeah, this new puzzle by Phistomefel, Phistomefel, we tend to do all of Phistomefel's puzzles because the man is a total genius when it comes to puzzle setting. But this one's actually been suggested, especially to us by a couple of people, as being particularly brilliant. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having a go at this, and I will do that in just a second or two. A few things to mention first. I will start by wishing Bram and Luna a very happy 1-year anniversary. Bram and Luna, I think, are from the Netherlands, and we had a lovely email from Bram, and he said that, Luna, you might appreciate a shout out as well. So I hope the two of you are able to have a splendid day. 1-year anniversary is definitely a good excuse for some cake as well. So I hope you managed to get some chocolate cake into the equation. Now, next, some of you have been asking when we are going to be streaming again. We're going to try and work through our free app, our 500,000 subscriber special app, which is available right now on all normal app delivery mechanisms, and we are going to, when is it, Saturday, I think Mark said, yes, so Saturday night, 10 o'clock UK time. We'd love to have your company if you can join us. And now the other thing I want to talk about is that we plan to begin a new series of videos for our patrons over on Patreon. So we believe we have now mastered the technology where we're going to be able to record both of us at the same time on the screen solving a puzzle. So the plan is we're going to try and do this. We're actually planning to try and record something this afternoon if it works, and if the technology works, and we're going to be trying a puzzle called Jabberwocky, which is clearly obviously a testament to Lewis Carroll. "'Twas brillig and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe, all mimsy were the borogoves and the momraths outgrabe," or something. Yeah, I think that was right. If you want to see how our Vorpal blades go snicker-snack together against that puzzle, then do join us on Patreon. There's a link under the video on how to do that. It's a couple of bucks a month. It is the best Sudoku club on earth. And yeah, many of you support us there. Thank you so much if you do. And yeah, we're going to have some new content over there, I hope, assuming we can solve the puzzle. If we both try the puzzle simultaneously with both of us sort of feeding in ideas and we can't do it, then that obviously is going to be a hard puzzle indeed. But the reason we chose that puzzle is it's been recommended by quite a few people, but it has an enormous rule set. Like the rule set is a page long, so we didn't think it would be it would be really very easy to showcase it in a normal video. So we hope we'll be able to showcase it in a special Patreon video. I don't know when the video will come out, but it won't be long. Other than that, nothing else to tell you, so let's get on with Reflections by Phistomefel, and I will read you the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Cells separated by a knight's move in chess cannot contain the same digit. So let's stop there and check we understand what that means. Let's make the central cell a 1. Now if this was a 1, and if it was a chess knight, it could jump to all of those cells. And so none of those blue cells could be a 1. If we change this to 2, none of the blue cells could be a 2. So just make sure you don't have the same digit a knight's move apart, and you'll have a chance of solving the puzzle. In cages, digits must sum to the small clue in the top left corner of the cage, and digits cannot repeat within a cage. So what that's telling us is that those, how many cells? Those 6 cells there sum to 25. But what we can't do, for example, is put 4, what I was trying to write 4, is put 4 there and 4 there. Because although these 4s don't see each other according to normal Sudoku rules, so they're not in the same row, column or box, they are in the same cage, and that's not allowed in this puzzle. So do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And my mind, or my eyes at least, are immediately drawn to this great cluster of stuff in the top of the grid here. So we've got a massive area there. We might be able to do maths on this. In fact, why don't we try that first? So what I'm thinking is, I know the sum of those digits. I don't know how the digits are disposed within the green area, but I do know the sum of all those digits because of the secret. Now, the secret is something I only tell my favourite people, but if you're watching this video, of course you're one of those people. And the secret is that any complete row of a Sudoku, because of the rules of Sudoku, contains the digits 1 to 9 once each. Now, if you add up the digits 1 to 9, you get 45. So if that row sums to 45, and that row sums to 45, and that row sums to 45, and that row sums to 45, then the green area altogether adds up to 180. Now, I can see that those cells look at 36. 36 and 14 is 50. What's 38 and 26? 64. So that's 114, 114, 121, 132. So 132 for the cage cells, and we need to get to 180 for all of the green cells, which seems to mean we need another 48 into these uncaged cells. Now, if we max those out, we'll get 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that's 30, which means these have to add up to at least 18, and that is as useful as a chocolate teapot. Bobbins. Okay, sorry. I mean, I had to do that. 18 in 4 cells when you can repeat digits is not an interesting total. At least I don't think it is. Right. Okay. Bother. Okay, what should we try next? How big are these cages? 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, okay. The 36 cage, and therefore I suppose the 38 cage, are 8 cells large, so we can use the secret again. Because of the rule that says you can't repeat a digit in a cage, this 8-cell cage must contain 8 different digits. Now we know 9 different digits sum to 45, so 8 different digits summing to 36 must mean they don't include the 9. So there is no 9 in this area here. There's no 9 in a 4-cell 14 cage either, because if you try and put 9 into a 4-cell 14 cage, the other 3 digits have to add up to 5, but 1 plus 2 plus 3 add up to 6, which is more than 5. There is a knowledge bomb for you from cracking the cryptic. So there are no 9s at all in that region. Now, what is that telling us? I don't know. My brain is not working today. What is that? What does that mean? I don't know, actually. I can't see anything there. Sorry. Let's try the same thing on this one then. So this is another 8-cell cage, this time adding to 38, which means there's no 7 in this cage. But there can absolutely be a 7 in a 26 cage, unfortunately. So we don't get the same effect there. We can't eliminate 7 from all of those. What about this column though? Where does 7 go in this column? You can't put 7 in a 3-cell 9 cage because you'd have to accompany it with 2 1s, and that will break the rules of Sudoku and cages in this instance. So 7 in this column is in one of those 2 cells, which sort of feels like it might matter. Is it the same for 9? No, it's not the same. No, it's not the same for 9 here. You can put 9 in here, in this 25 cage, and then the other digits, there would be 5 cells adding up to 16, which would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. So we've got a 7 at the top and the bottom of column 7. No, okay, I'm not even sure I want to retain that pencil mark because that might confuse me. So actually I've got absolutely nothing here. Now, so is it knight's moves somehow? It could be. Yeah, it could be actually. Where do... yeah, okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Right, where does that digit go? In the 36 cage. Yeah, and this is interesting because that digit must live in the 36 cage because the 36... they should have got this immediately. The 36 cage hasn't got a 9 in it. And I said, and the 14 cage hasn't got a 9 in it either. So that means that we know that whatever's in the 14 cage has to live in the 36 cage. And therefore that digit has to be in one of those digits. And therefore, which one is it, given the knight's move constraint? Well, it's not that one, it's not that one. That's a knight's move away, that's in the same row, that's a knight's move away, that's in the same column, and that's a knight's move away. So it goes there. And that cannot be by accident. So now, where does green go in this box? Oh no, that's not... Well, it can't repeat in a cage, actually. Can't repeat in the same cage, so it's in one of 3 positions. Okay, but I'm tempted to come back here, though, because by symmetry, this cell here must... We know it's in the 36 cage, and therefore it must be there, mustn't it? Because... Let's just double check. I mean, it's the same logic, which is just upside down, so it must go here. Now, can we do the same thing with this one? Yes. Oh, this is lovely. It's lovely. Okay, where does that digit go? In the C, backward C region. Not in those cells by Sudoku, not there by knight's move, or those 2 by Sudoku, so it's got to go there, which means this cell, which we shall make purple, has to go here. Which means that this 4-cell string of digits sum to 14, because we know those sum to 14 and those are exactly the same digits, which means that... Yes, it's lovely. It's lovely. I have got a digit in the puzzle. I can get... Right, well, I'll tell you which digit it is. See if you can work out how to do it. That digit, I believe, can now be placed. And if you can't see how, pause the video. For those of you who managed to do it, congratulations. The way to get this digit is to use maths on this column. And let me explain. We know the whole column sums to 45. Well, if these sum to 14 and those sum to 25, that means those cells I've just highlighted there sum up to 39. So I need to keep these digits... If I keep those digits as small as I possibly can with 1 and 2, now what do those 8 cells sum up to? Well, by my reckoning, those 8 cells now sum to 36. And if I was to increase these digits any further, these would sum to less than 36, and that would mean this digit would have to be higher than 9 in order to ensure the column sums to 45. So we have to keep these down to an absolute minimum, and that allows us to place 9 at the top of the column. So we've got 22 here, plus 14, plus 9 to give us the 45. So, right, so now in box 1, where does 9 go? And the answer is I don't quite know, but it's definitely in that domino, because it can't. We know the 9 doesn't go in the 36 cage. So now that's going to propagate down here. Again, we can't put 9 in the 14 cage. We can't put it in the 36 cage. So one of those cells is a 9. Now we can... Hang on a minute. Let's work out where it's going in the middle box, which is... no, it can go. Oh, in fact, not only can it go in the 38 cage, it must go in the 38 cage, because the 38 cage is only missing a 7. Do we need a 9 in the 26 cage? Not quite. 8, 7, 6, 5 add up to 26. So that's a bit frustrating. 9. Ooh, I can get 9 in... Well, no, I can't get 9 in box 7, but I can approximately place 9 in box 7. So have a look at that. 9 is ruled out of these cells. Now look at this. This is a common knight's move pattern. You can't put 9 in either of those cells, because if you do, you will rule 9 out of both of its possible positions in box 4 because of the knight's move constraint. Imagine that was 9, then this couldn't be 9, and that couldn't because it's a knight's move away. So if 9 can't go here or here, 9 is vertical in column 2 in one of these, which means it's not there, which means that's 9. Now that means that 9 in the middle box is not here, so it's in one of 3 places, which I'm absolutely prepared to pencil mark. For some reason I'm happier pencil marking digits into cells than I am pencil marking colours into 3 cells. I didn't feel like it was a good idea to pencil mark green into those 3 cells. Oh, although hang on, green has suddenly, I've suddenly realised green's become more restricted now, because green can't go in those cells by Sudoku, it can't repeat in the 14 cage, and it doesn't equal 9, so green is in one of those. Which I see, so that probably well, it means green is in this string of digits. So green is this digit is probably a 1 or a 2. Oh, okay. All right, blame this on my hangover, but okay. There is a much, much, much easier way of doing this. Right, let's look at the 1 and the 2 here. And think about these digits in the context of this 14 cage, because it's really rather pretty. The question to ask is, where do 1 and 2 go in column 4? And the answer is, because they can't repeat in the 25 cage, and they are not equal to 9, they go into a coloured cell. They're in one of those cells, but we know those coloured cells transpose into these coloured cells, which means these coloured cells have to include a 1 and a 2. Well, they're not in those cells because they see a 1 and a 2 in their column. So actually we get green and blue, a 1 and 2, which means that's a 1 or a 2, and that's a 1 and a 2. Oh, this is lovely. Right. Now what's that digit? And the answer is, well, we know it's a 1 or a 2, but it's not green because those are a knight's move away. So that's blue, which means that's green. And now we might be able to do some trickery. What can we do here? We've got a blue 1, 2 in one of those 2 cells. Green 1, 2 in one of these 2 cells. Hang on, what about... No. What about here then? Green can't go there. Ah, yeah, there we go. Where does green go in this box? And the answer is, I don't know exactly, but by knight's move trickery, it's not there or there. So it's in one of those 2 cells. For some reason that grey flash there seems less visible to me today. Must be in a slightly different position versus the screen. So that means one of those 2 cells is green, because this can't be green for a variety of reasons. The 38 cage does need a green in it, because green is 1 or 2, and the only digit missing from the 38 cage is a 7. The 9 cage needs either green or blue or both in it. It could be 1, 2, 6. Hang on a moment. No, okay, I was wondering about blue in box 8, but blue in box 8, and I can see it can't go here. I think it's got 3 possibilities. Okay, so instead of thinking about that, those 2 cells now have to add up to 11, and they're not 2, 9, so they are 3, 8, 4, 7, or 5, 6. And those digits end up here. Okay. Okay, but what I should do, I suppose, is just to repeat this logic here, shouldn't I? Is that going to work? This? Oh, no. Right. Oh, okay. This is absolutely beautiful. This is just classic Phistomefel. Okay, let's take a close look at this 26 2x2 now, because I think it's true to say that whichever cell of this 26 cage you look at, that cell sees every single colour that's in the 14 cage. So if we look at this cell for a moment, this red cell, can that be a digit that appears in the 14 cage? And the answer is no, because clearly it sees those, it sees that by Knight's move, and it sees blue there. Now the same is true for this cell. This cell, let's make that grey, sees green, sees orange just by Sudoku, but these two are in its box, the purple and the blue, and the same logic applies upside down to these cells. So, right, so in fact, because you can't repeat a digit between the 14 cage and the 26 cage here, they are 8 different digits, there is no 5 in any of those 8 cells. And we know that because this is a virtual 8 cage. 8 different digits summing to 40, 9 different digits sum to 45, so there is no 5 in these cells. So this is not 5, 6 anymore. So this is now 3, 8, or 4, 7. And this is 3, 8, or 4, 7. And now, so there's no 5 in here. Right, so there is a 9 in here then now. Yes, okay. Do you remember we were thinking about how to get to a 26 total? And I said 8, 7, 6 and 5 add up to 26, and they do. But now, because we know there's no 5 in there, that's not a possibility. So there must be a 9 in there, which means that's not a 9. So one of these digits is a 9. Oh, look, yeah, okay. So now one of these 3 digits is a 9. Can't quite see. Looks like, oh yeah, it looks like it's trying to push this to be 2, 9, doesn't it? Because that's going to unwind all of our greennesses dotted around the grid. If we got that to be 2, 9, green would be 1, blue would be 2. This this could then have to be 1, 6 or 3, 4. Okay, and there is a 9 in the 30. Oh, okay, there is a 9 in the 38 cage. That's true, because it's not. We only know the only digit missing from this cage is a 7. The 9 can't go there, and it can't go there. So there is a 9 in one of those cells in column 7. I don't really want to pencil mark that. That's going to confuse me. It's going to because if I pencil mark those, saying there's a 9 in one of these, and I've got these pencil marks in box 6, saying that one of those 3 cells is a 9, then this 9 is sort of weird. Right, okay, so I've got to map. So can't I just map these digits Do they add up to 26? Is that the point? Why? How could that not be the case? So if that's red, where does red go in this backwards C? Well, we know the answer to that, don't we? Red has to go here, which would actually, that would immediately fix fix the 9 problem, because this couldn't be a 9. So if this is red, the 9 is in here and all of the 1s and 2s get unwound. If grey, grey would have to go in, oh hang on, no, grey's in one of those two. Oh, that's right, that's interesting. That's interesting. So when we did this, when we did the colouring exercise and the 14 cage, I did it that one, then that one. Now the effect of that, this digit here, which I haven't labelled, I'll make that yellow. That digit, where does it go in the 38 cage? Well, it would have to go there. And that removes the possibility of this cell going there, which forces that one down. And then this cell, I'm running out of colours here, that make that black. Therefore that, well hang on, no, I don't like the grey and the black being together. I'll change the yellow round. I'll make this yellow. And therefore that's going to be black, that's going to be black, and that's going to be yellow. And then okay, so this is the disposition of these digits in here. 26, 35, these add up to 10. There's no... Hang on a minute. Something's nagging me about this. Can I just say that those are the same digits? No, oh no, I can't. Ah, no, I'm misleading you all. Right, hang on a minute. We were able to transpose the 14 cage into the 36 cage because we knew there was a complete commonality of digits between the 14 cage and the 36 cage. We knew the 36 cage contained the digits in the 14 cage for certain, because we knew the only digit missing from the 36 cage was 9, which couldn't go in the 14 cage. That is not the same, is it? Here. Because I know the 38 cage doesn't have 7 in it, but it's absolutely possible for 7 to be in the 26 cage. In which case, if 7 is in the 26 cage, this mapping is total nonsense, because this can't go in here. It just cannot do it. So 3 of these digits would go in here. Oh, hang on, I'm confusing myself now. Hang on, I also know there's no 5 in here. So if these digits are in here, if these digits do map here, they add up to 26, but we know that none of these is a 5 because you can't put 5 in the 26 cage, and we know none of these digits is a 7 for the reason that you can't put 7 in the 38 cage, full stop. So those digits would have to be, they'd have to sum to 26 without using 5 and 7. Is that even possible? 9, 8, 6. Oh, it is possible. Yeah, no, it is possible. 9, 8. No, it's not. Oh, it's not possible for another reason. This doesn't work, because if this adds up to 26, it has to be 3, 6, 8, 9, and that breaks the 9 cage, I think. Let me just check this, because this is quite tricky. It's quite tricky indeed, and I've discombobulated myself a bit by assuming initially that these went in here, which was not a valid assumption. But I think if we go with the hypothesis that the 26 digits do appear in these cells, then we can say two things about these coloured cells. Firstly, there's no 5. Secondly, there's no 7. Therefore, the only way they can exist and sum to 26 is with 9863. That's the only combination left. And if that was the case, this 9 cage now, well, normally it has 3 possibilities. 2, 3, 4 is one of them. That's ruled out by the fact there's a 3 up here. 1, 3, 5, that's ruled out because there's a 3 up here. And 1, 2, 6, which is ruled out because we've said there's a 6 up here. So this is broken. So now we actually can delete this altogether, because now we have proved beyond any doubt that there is a digit in here that does not map in there. Well, which has to be a 7. Because the only digit we could possibly put in the 26 cage that doesn't appear in the 38 cage is a 7. Every other digit in the every other digit we could possibly pick to go in the 26 cage must appear in the 38 cage, because the 38 cage is only missing a 7. So there is a 7 in here now. Oh, does that do this? Oh, please. Yes, it does. Of course it does. Because now if there's a 7 in there, there's no 7 in there. And we know, therefore, there's no 7 in there. We know these two cells sum up to 11, so there's now no 4 in there. So there's no 4 in there, so this is a 3-8 pair. Oh, this is ridiculous. So, oh, okay. And now there's no 8 in my 26 cage all of a sudden. And there's all... Oh, this might be broken again. So we know there's no 5 in the 26 cage because of the virtual 8 cage. So we've now got 9, 7, 6, which is 22, and we need 4 more. Oh, we can do it. We can just do it. So this now is known to be 9, 7, 4, 6, adding up to 26. And we've now sort of... We know there's no 9 in those two, actually. This is amazing, isn't it? It's just amazing. And, you know, how many Knight's Move puzzles have I done in my life? The answer to that is legion. I have done a lot of them. And yet again, Phistomefel is coming up with new stuff to entertain us. It's just amazing. Right, now, what does this mean, though? So I have to plot 3 of these digits into this set. Because we know that whichever... but we can't do this, can we? Because we don't know which of these are definitely in here. And some of them have 2 options. So if we somehow worked out that this digit was definitely in the 38 cage. So if this digit wasn't a 7, then where does this digit go in here? Well, it's got 2 options. And we could only rule out this one if we knew for sure both of these were also in. Or at least that one was in. So that's not going to be... Well... Okay, so how do I do this then? Do I have to... Maybe I pencil mark these at the bottom of column 4. Those have got to be 4, 6, 7... and 5, actually. 4, 5. Oh, I see they're 4, 5, 6, and 7. What does that mean? I don't know. Oh, I know what we can do. I know what to do. Right. I do know, I don't know how 4, 6 and 9, which are the digits here that have to appear here, I don't know how they're disposed, but I do know that these 4 scales must include the 4, 6 and the 9, because we're never going to be able to use these cells for these 4 digits. So they get transposed over here and look down at the 9 cage, which now cannot be 2, 3, 4 because there's a 4 in there, and it cannot be 1, 2, 6 because there's a 6 in there. So that's 1, 3, 5. which means there is a green or a blue digit in here, but only one of them now, because it can't be 126 anymore. Now, what I'm wondering about now is right. Okay, Phistomefel, I see what you've done. Ah, it's brought tears to my eyes. That is ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to do another of these Agad Mator type things because this is just too cool not to. And let me just think about it. I'm just going to double check that I'm confident this is correct. I am going to claim that I know what this is. I know what the composition of that 7 cage is, I think. See if you can work out why if you can't see it, because when I show you, if you've not seen it, you will just, you will you will be astonished. Right, let me explain. This string of digits now we know is a 135 triple. Now what does that mean for 5 in this backward C? And that may seem a strange question, but we now know that there is a 5 for sure in one of those cells. But look at the backward C here. We know this is only missing a 9, which means there is a 5 in one of those cells. And this is a sort of weird extended X-wing on 5s. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean, imagine the 5 in the 36 cage was in either of these two positions. Well, then we know for sure that the 5 in the 38 cage must be in one of those two positions. Now, the only other situation that can exist at the start is that the 5 is not here in the 36 cage, not in either of those. That would mean it's in one of those two, which will mean it's in one of these two in the 38 cage. So, however the 5s turn out to be arranged in the finished puzzle, there must be a 5 in one of those 4 cells, and there must be a 5 in one of those 4 cells. And that means this 7 cage cannot have a 5 in it, and actually the 11 cage cannot be a 5-6 pair either. But we can do better than that, because let's do exactly that logic again, this time with the 1. There's no 1 in this string of digits, but I know there's a 1 in the 38 cage. It must be in one of those cells. It must be. And it's going to form a pair with whichever one of these is a 1. So again, imagine this was a 1. Then we know there'll be a 1 down here in box 5. If this is a 1 in the finished grid, then there must be a 1 up here in the 38 cage. So you can't put 1 in the 7 cage either. So if you can't put 1 or 2 in the 7 cage, the 7 cage is 3 and 4. It's the only way it will work. And that means... well, what does that mean? Let me just think about that for a moment. I'm pretty sure that it means something profound for where 3 goes in this cage, but I'm also thinking about where 4 goes in this cage, because we know 4 can't be in these cells because there is a 4 in those. So there is a 4 in this string of digits which now cannot be in these, so there must be a 4 in these, one of those 2 cells, which... so now the 11 cage here can't be 4-7, and it can't be 5-6 because of the 5 weirdity that we had going on. Oh, I know how I could show that X-wing actually. Look, Sven's got software is so lovely, isn't it? Hang on, let me try and... I can't quite do it. I wanted to go to diagonally to this point, but it won't quite let me do it. So, all right. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. So, this is now not 4-7. It's not 5-6. So it's either 3-8 or 2-9. And I know which my bet is on. I think this is going to be 2-9. Now, if this was 3, 8, these would be this colour. So one of these cells would have to be that colour. I have a feeling I'm meant to understand how to do that, and I can't do it, I'm afraid. Right, so instead, let's think about 3 then, because we know that the 38 cage has a 3 in it. Where is that? Oh, this does it. Oh, I don't believe it. I was doing this not for this reason. I was doing it to disambiguate these 3s and 8s, but actually it's going to have an effect on this 11 cage. Where does 3 go in the 38 cage? We know it's in there somewhere. The only digit that's not in there is a 7. It can't go in those by Sudoku now. And it can't go in these because of the 1, 3, 5 triple. So it is in one of those 2 squares. There is definitely a 3 in one of these. I'm actually going to get rid of the 5 pencil marks now, because that's likely to lead me astray, because it's a bit cross box, isn't it? But this 3 not only gives me this digit, and this digit, and this digit, and this digit, but it also rules out 3 from here, and forces this to be 2, 9. Now, if that's 2, 9, we now know that green has to be 1. So that's 1, that's 1, that's 1, that's 2, that's 2, that's 2. And now we feel better about the world. Although now, okay, now there's a 2 in one of those cells, which has always been the case, but I didn't want to colour it. What about 1 in this box? We know that's in one of those 2 cells. There's a 1 in one of these and a 1 in one of these, which I don't know if that's going to... Does that affect this somehow? I'm not sure. I've got to put 4, 6 and 9 into these cells. 2, because one of these is a 2. Oh, one of these is a 9. Okay. So that's not a 9. That's not a 9. So the 9 in this string of digits, which we know must exist, is now in one of those 2 cells. And I think this is why this is called reflection. So you get all of these sort of backwards and forwards effects around these 2 C shapes. It's very, very strange and wonderful. Okay. I know there's a 3 in one. Oh, the 3 in here sees that by knight's move. So that's got to be the 3. And therefore that's purplified, and that's not anything. And that 3 sees that cell by the medium of knight's moves on this 1, 3, 5 triple. So 3... Oh, right, this is lovely. Right, where does 3 go in this box now? Box 8. Not here, because that's a knight's move away from its friend, so one of those 2 cells. Now this can't be a 3, because it would rule a 3 out of box 8 entirely, because of the knight's move. If that's not 3, the 3 has to be here, which gets purplified again. 3 in box 1 has to be in the top row and can't be here, so it's in one of those 2 cells. Might be getting a 3 in the corner. And what next? Well, the answer to that is I don't know. If I know that one of these is a 4, that can't be a 4. Do I know that one of these is a 4? I know, yeah, oh yes I do, because I know one of those is a 4 and the 4 can't go at the top. So that's not a 4. Can I do that again somehow? Don't know. Okie dokie, I'm stuck, can't see what to do. Oh, no I can actually, I've just spotted something else. This 38 cage has got to have a 1 in it. Where's that going? Not there, not there, not there, not in any of those because of the 1-5 pair. Not here because of this one, so it has to go there. So that's a 1, which means that that gets greenified. So there's a 1 up in the top right, can't go here because of the 1-5 pair. There is... what else is there? Oh, I know what there is. I've got to put 4. This is just so gorgeous. It really is. So I'm sort of starting to sense how Phistomefel has done this. He's thought about restricting these digits, and then he's allowing the interplay between these dominoes so that they keep going backwards and forwards. Look, there's a 4 now in one of those cells by Sudoku, because there must be a 4 in this C. And that's knocking 4 out of here, which is placing 4 here, which now I can ask where 4 goes in the 26 gauge. It doesn't go there. It doesn't go there by Knight's Move, so light grey is a 4. So we can colour that one in. That 4 C's here, so this is 3, this is 4. 3 is coloured, and 4 is coloured. And now... oh, yeah, well, okay, 3 in box 9 is in one of those 2 cells. Now we can ask where 3 goes in row 7. It's not in any of those cells anymore. So it's in one of those 2 cells. 4 is in one of those cells. Okay, and therefore, what does that mean? I don't know. There is no... I was going to try and do the same trick on the 36 using 9 from here, but of course there is no 9 in the 36, so that doesn't work. Okay. Do we have a way of... doing this with some sort of aplomb? I don't know. I don't know. I thought, come on. How do we finish this off now? I do feel like we've got the idea of the puzzle. Our job now is just to not mess it up from here. Okay, how do we do this? Which is it going to be? This one? Let's think about that. Yeah. Yes, it is, isn't it? I just have to keep worrying away. Where does 2 go in the backwards C? It's not there. It's not there. So it has to go there. And that's massive, because that places the 9, which means that's not 9, so that's 9. Now I've got a 6-7 pair here. But I know that this digit has to be the 6 of these, because I know that 6 must appear in one of those, because 6 cannot appear in those cells. This is so clever. So that's now 6. This is 2, which is a blue digit. 6, have I given 6 a colour? Not yet. It's going to be red or yellow in the fullness of time. But now, oh, okay, now 6 is in the 36 gauge, so that lives up there by the medium of reflection. So what digits am I left to place in the 38 gauge? 5. Oh no, there's no 7 in it. 5 and 8. Oh, well that's easy. 8 can't go there by Sudoku, so that's 8. This is 5. 8 is orange. 5 is... oh, that's the first 5 I've got in the grid, I think. That's not 5 now. So, alright, now using our logic from very much earlier, we now know 5 in this has to be up here where it seems to join its friend the 6. So that's a 5-6 pair, and now that digit is a 7, and I've just seen I can therefore place 9 here by using my pencil marks. That displaced a 2, so we don't get a 3 in the corner. We get a 3 here instead. We can probably do a lot of colouring now on these digits, although 7 we don't know its colour yet. 9... oh, 9 hasn't got a colour either. Sorry, 9. That's a 4, which is a grey digit. So this is a 4 by the medium for Sudoku, which means that gets grayed, which means there's a 4 possibly in the corner, but we don't yet know. And this is now got to be finished up with there's no 9 in it, there's a 7. So that's a 7. 7 is, oh, 7's one of these. I still haven't worked out how these two work. Ah, but what's that digit? Not yellow, so that must be yellow. Because we need to put yellow in this box. So that digit is something else. That's 5. And that's very pretty, actually, because if this is a 6-7 pair, and it is, that cell cannot be 6, because that would prevent a 6 going in box 2. So this is 5, this is 6. I mean, every single time he does this, it's literally every single time. It's just baffling brilliance from start to finish. It is, wow, it's incredible to me. That's not 7 by Sudoku. Now, okay, look, I've got all the digits in this row apart from 8, which I can therefore put in there, which means that's not an 8, so there's an 8 down at the bottom, one of these two. So this box needs 1, 6, and 5. Ah, if that's true, that's a 5. So these are a 1-6 pair. And there'll be a knight's move. Yes, there's a knight's move pointing in, so that's 1, that's 6. Now, that's massive. So this digit goes there and becomes yellow, which means that digit has become 7. So 7 is now red. This digit has to go here, so that's yellow. This is yellow. That's red. 1 is green. Sorry, I should have got that as well, shouldn't I? This is now 4 or 7. We need to put a 2 in this box. And 2 is a blue digit, which can't go there. Okay, so that's 2 being blue. So, okay, so where does 2 go in column 5 now? Not there because of knight's move. Not there by Sudoku, so it goes at the bottom. Plonking 3 above it. Plonking, that's 3 in the corner. There's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. That's 6 by the power of yellowness. That must be a 4 or a 7. Oh, okay, 7 of course is going here. So that's got to be 4. We can do some colouring, make ourselves feel chromatically in line with the world. That's not 5 by knight's move. That's not 4 by knight's move. Can we do better than that? Probably. What about the... Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe I can't, but I can get that digit. That's got to be an 8. And therefore, these digits have got to be 1, 7, and 9. Which we can probably do a little bit of whittling away at. That's not 7 because of this. Okay, that's not 1 because of this. Okay, there's probably a way we can do that. I just can't see what it is. Let's look at 2 here. That's placing 2 and 9 over there. So that becomes blue. 9 is uncoloured. There's got to be a 2 in... Well, in fact, that's blue. So that's got to be a blue 2 by Sudoku. I'm sort of hopeful we've cracked the back of this now. This is a 5-7 pair. Okay, I can't see how to do that. So this must be an 8 and a 8 and a 1. Ooh, okay, 8 and 1. Nothing seems to be reaching in there to sort that out. What about this column? We need 7 and 8. Oh, that must be done. How's that done? What about that one? No! Really? Oh, I've got a horrible feeling I've got famous last words here, because I thought this was just about done. And all of a sudden, things aren't working. Ah, but I can put another digit in this column. That's a 6. Oh, that is a useful 6 as well. Look at that. That seems to be saying that's a 5. Which gives me a 5 and a 1 here. Which means that's not a 1, which places a 1 here. I'll do some colouring in a moment to sort of fix all this. This 1 is looking at that cell, so that's 8. That's 1. That seems to have to be a 1 at the top. I've not put 8 into this box. Okay, this is a 7 or an 8. So this is a 5, 6 pair. There's a 6 looking in here. So this is 5. This is 6. This is 5. This is 7. This column needs 4 and something. 4 and 6. Can we do that? Yes, 6 is looking there. So that's 6. That's 4. That's 4. That's 6. 4 lives here now. We need 7, 8 and 9 into this box. So that cell sees 9 by night move and 8 there. So that's got to be 7, that's got to be 8, that's got to be 9. That's got to be 8, that's got to be 7. We need to put 3 and 9 over here. There's a 9 night move issue, so we can do 9 and the 3. What this column needs is something. Not perhaps the most descriptive thing I've ever said, but I think it's a 5 in the corner. That's a 9, that's a 7. That's a 7, that's an 8. Wow, wow. And all that's left to do is to colour things in and hope that I haven't made a ricket. So those are yellow, 7s were red, 4s were grey, 3s were something, purple. 2s, have I done all the 2s? So I should just be left, oh, all the 1s can be done with greens. So I should just be left with 5s and 9s uncoloured. Why is that the funny colour? Oh, because I was meant to give 9 the colour of black, sorry. So I should just be left with one uncoloured cell, which is the 5 now. And the only thing left is to click tick. Yay! Well, I mean, that's magnificent. That is everything you could ever want in a puzzle. Start to finish, gorgeous. And the digits are just made to dance by this man over and over again. It's so clever. It really is. I mean, and it's very intuitive in a way. So I got the idea of the knight's move and this C fairly quickly. And then you have to have the thought about whether you can map these from this. And you can't because of this little 9 cage at the bottom. And then what do you have to do? Then you have to... well, then you have to have the then you have to have the idea that there's a 7 in here, don't you? And that forced the composition of the 14 cage, which in turn forced the composition of the 26 cage, which in turn forced the composition of this, which forced the composition of this, which led to these wonderful, weird X-wingy like patterns over here, giving you, my favourite bit was this bit, that you can work out what that 7 cage is. I mean, how much can you pack into a puzzle? Well, I'm lost in admiration. I really hope some of you out there, I think, will appreciate this as I do. Do share it with your friends. Do try and get them into Sudoku, because I think anybody who loves problem solving or patterns and just pure intelligence and wit, this is a window into the mind of a genius, solving this sort of puzzle, because you get to see Phistomefel's brain working. Fabulous. Loved it. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I do enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.